Hello there. Judges have ruled that crime lords and jihadis cannot be deported. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The government always promises the earth where illegal and legal immigration are concerned, but they never deliver anything but increased numbers. We were told that it would boost the economy. Has it? Really? Then on the back of refusing to train enough doctors and nurses in the UK, we were told they are the only thing holding the NHS together. And that's despite all those brand new graduates the UK produces, remember. What are they all doing? Bigger question, what are they all capable of doing? And the establishment is so desperate to fill the country up that from politicians to officials to judges, they do the bidding of the woke activists by working as hard as possible to prevent every single deportation. And the rest of us have had enough of knowing that there are very dangerous people on the loose in the UK. Unemployable, dangerous people who probably require constant monitoring as well as being fed and housed at our expense. Dangerous people free to go about their evil business if they so desire. The next atrocity by one of them will be on the heads of those that insist we keep them here. Now I will ask a question. What better deterrent is there than the knowledge that if you get caught in potentially lethal plots against this country, you will be returned to your country of origin, whatever the risk to your personal safety or liberty? What is it about the self-destructive urges of our establishment bodies? Want to commit crimes and live in comfort, knowing you'll always be safe and be set free relatively quickly to continue your crime spree unhindered? Well, pop on a plane, train, ferry or dinghy and get to the UK, the land of the burgeoning underground economy where anything goes. Treasure Island, as they call it. Now you may have missed it, but a Sudanese ISIS adherent, who can only be named as S3, who MI5 told the judges at a special immigration appeals commission a few days ago was an ISIS propagandist who posed a serious risk to the UK, was released by that court, given indefinite leave to remain and full anonymity. Just the deterrent we need to see. Not. There was a realistic possibility that S3 would seek to radicalise other individuals and encourage them to engage in Islamist extremist activities, said MI5. But to rid the country of this person would, said the court, breaches Article 3 ECHR prohibition of torture rights. We can't send him back to Sudan because he might be tortured, so he stays forever at taxpayer expense. And another, Jelosh Kolikai, a dual national Albanian crime lord who was jailed for money laundering. The Home Office wanted him deported and have his British citizenship removed because the National Crime Agency warned that he had a senior and controlling role in UK organised crime. But the courts said no, his right to a family life trumped everything. Now the main problem we have is that the Human Rights Act 1998 basically codifies the ECHR into UK law. So the judges just say they are bound to follow the law. But they do seem overly keen to do so in certain circumstances. They follow the letter of that law without applying any common sense, in the face of government lawyers who have put together a case arguing that deportation is legal and is required for national security. Although it must be borne in mind that to become a judge you need to have a provable history of woke, progressive and inclusive behaviour. So having government lawyer trying to deport people on your CV probably won't go down very well at the judges' selection and promotion panels. So even a very violent criminal's personal rights can easily overcome even severe damage to the nation state. And that's the real conflict, an individual's human rights as opposed to the safety of us all. Scenario: the UK is under massive threat of attack from a foreign state, and the government decides that conscription is necessary. It would appear to me that the human rights judges would rule in the favour of anyone who declined to participate, on the grounds that their individual safety was paramount over and above national security, even if it meant the violent and complete destruction of the UK. The queues outside the courts would stretch for miles, while good Brits signed up voluntarily. And then no doubt those same judges would probably line up on the side of our conquerors against any remaining resistance, in order to survive. Those judges seem to have no intention of protecting the nation from general security and crime threats, so what difference would a potential invasion make? Now compare that to the case of a certain Mr. Tommy Robinson. He was ordered out of London for 48 hours and was irritant sprayed in the face at extremely close range for his troubles. He tried to argue his position in court, but it appears that the judge basically waved it all aside and extended a 48-hour London ban into effectively a permanent ban, at least until it gets settled at a later court case. But that can be delayed at the leisure of the court system. All with no actual crime having been committed, other than arguing with the police over breakfast. But he was in London legitimately. No sticking resolutely to every single letter of the law and procedure there, it seems. But dealing with Tommy like that is okay, screech the woke lefties. Because even though he hasn't committed an actual crime, he's far right, so he must be punished purely for existing. But those that enter the country and go about their nefarious business unpeacefully must be accorded all benefits and housing. Now another issue I have is how come so many unsavoury people from abroad seem to end up with dual UK nationality? What is it? Just another UK establishment rubber stamping procedure to fill the country up with undesirables? Or is it just that massive fraud is taking place? The UK definitely needs to tighten up on that one. Or is not handing out UK passports like confetti breaching someone's human rights somewhere? And remember, if someone gets a UK passport and then rescinds their home nationality, they can never be sent back because no one can be made stateless. We must be much more choosy when handing out our passports. They are worth an awful lot of dosh to criminals. Now, I would guess that despite what the government would have us believe, the number of potentially undesirable people the courts have let stay in the country is growing at quite a rate. And that because they have ended any sentence and have been given leave to remain, they can wander at will about the place. And you or your kids could be sat next to one on the bus or the train. I'm now left wondering if people like President Assad of Syria or Vladimir Putin have the UK at or near the top of their escape plan list in the event they are faced with forceful ejection from office. After all, we do have a very unenviable track record of not deporting the undesirable types, don't we? You can imagine our human rights judges tripping over themselves to find excuses to not send them back to face justice. I somehow doubt they'd even send them to The Hague.